Welcome to SmartThoughts. We are an independent, vendor-neutral advisement firm, and we specialize in objective analysis for associations navigating the complex association management software market. Before you pull up a spreadsheet and start comparing features, we are switching tracks. Looking at software platforms before defining your exact internal requirements is a guaranteed way to authorize a massive financial mistake. Membes and your membership almost always end up sitting next to each other on buyer shortlists. The logic is easy to trace. Both platforms actively target small to mid-size associations with 2 to 15 staff members and operating budgets between $500,000 and $5 million. But that target market is where the similarities end. While they pitch to the same-sized associations, they demand entirely different operational realities from the people actually using the systems. Your choice between Membes and your membership locks your association into one of two distinct operational paths. Let's look at Membes. Born in Melbourne over a decade ago as a software-as-a-service solution, Membes built its reputation on modern, web-based infrastructure and transparent pricing based strictly on your member count. The core architectural philosophy here is an open, API-driven ecosystem. The platform acts as a central hub, cleanly integrating with external specialized providers for tools like website design or advanced AI platforms. This ecosystem approach grants your association total flexibility to pick the best tools for the job. But that freedom has a cost. It requires a staff technically literate enough to manage that autonomy and configure modern workflows. Your membership, on the other hand, operates as a legacy Tier 2 to Tier 3 hybrid platform. They have spent 25 years serving thousands of nonprofits by doing the exact opposite. Your membership relies on a consolidated, predefined monolith. They bundle nearly 40 functional areas, from event registration to community forums, into one giant, inescapable package. This monolithic approach completely removes the burden of juggling multiple vendor relationships. Your staff doesn't have to piece tools together, but they do have to surrender entirely to the vendor's highly rigid way of working. Software architecture dictates organizational behavior. An open system demands that your staff take responsibility for their setup, while a closed system demands strict conformity to the platform's rules. When you buy an AMS, you are actually shopping for your future operational constraints. You have to evaluate what specific pain points your team can survive. With Membes, you are adopting a mature Australian platform that is currently executing a massive expansion into the North American market. This strategic trade-off is relying on a company aggressively scaling its footprint and navigating a new competitive landscape on U.S. shores. With your membership, you are entering a private equity ownership structure under TA Associates. History in the software market shows this often prioritizes profitability over product innovation, leading directly to the user reports we see citing opaque, custom-only pricing and minimal system updates. Daily life in your membership involves navigating severe design debt. Users consistently report outdated website templates and frustrating accounting limitations, like having to pay an extra fee just to integrate QuickBooks, a feature many competitors include for free. Daily life in Membes avoids those legacy traps, but introduces the burden of configuration. Your team has to actively design their workflows and manage the connections of an open environment, rather than relying on a vendor to hand them a pre-built standardized playbook. Selecting a platform means identifying which set of daily operational frustrations your team can actually tolerate over the long term. Evaluating Membes and your membership through a side-by-side feature matrix risks overlooking the operational friction that stalls real-world adoption. A line item for membership renewals doesn't account for the manual data cleanup required in one system versus the automated API-driven workflows of another. Slick sales demos mask the harsh realities of execution. They glide right past messy data migrations, inflexible legacy code, and the actual technical literacy of your current staff. So look at your team. Which operational model actually aligns with your staff's capabilities? Can your association truly support the complexity of an open ecosystem, or do you need the training wheels of a closed monolith? Are you comparing these platforms based on real, documented operational needs, or just the surface impressions of a polished sales pitch? It takes 5 seconds to ask an AI for a pros and cons list of these two vendors. It takes months to recover from a botched AMS implementation that cripples your association's revenue. Large language models lack the context to audit your staff's technical endurance or your organization's tolerance for rigid legacy design. These qualitative variables, not the feature list, dictate whether the software becomes a tool or a bottleneck. Before you sign a multi-year contract, let us help you define those factors. Access the SmartThoughts AMS Selection Toolkit, or schedule a consultation with our team to map out your true requirements. Execution reality will always eclipse feature lists. In the AMS market, expert context is your only true competitive advantage.